In a media environment that's constantly changing, that's unstable even, what if there was a way to learn the secrets of stories so you could have not only a stable career, but a thriving one? What if there was a way to learn to tell long-form stories that change the scope of your career, change how much money you make, change your life? Well, there is such a way. I'm Paul Kix, and I want to share with you the secrets of story, the internal mechanism of why great stories endure. These secrets have led me to write for The New Yorker, The Atlantic, and GQ, among other titles. These secrets have allowed me to edit Pulitzer Prize winners, best-selling authors, MacArthur Genius Grant recipients. What I understand about story is why my first book was a #1 bestseller on Amazon, and why a story of mine will soon appear as a film. What I've learned about why great stories endure is what I teach my students who've landed in dream publications thanks to what they've learned, and who've inked their own book deals for north of $250,000. What I've learned, what my students have learned about the secrets of story, I want you to learn. How these secrets transformed my life and my former students will also transform your life. When you know why great stories endure, you can tell whatever kind of story you want, have the career you dream about. Once you understand the true tenets of story, you can quit worrying about the instability of the media industry. Gosh, the publications rising and just as quickly crumbling, the staff reductions. Because once you understand the secrets of story, which is why great stories work, you can always find work. Story is eternal. The public will always seek it. Once you know how to tell a great story, you can have a great and thriving career and a great and thriving life. And that's what this video is about. Helping you not only transform the sort of stories you tell, but transform your life. You may think, how can you say that when the media industry is full of, again, those staff reductions, those shuttered publications, where there's fierce competitions for a few jobs? Well, I can say that because I was once asking those same questions myself, and not that long ago. I was fearful of the future. I was fearful of the future as a long-form storyteller. In fact, I saw no reason to continue to be a writer. It was 2009 and the bottom of the Great Recession. My wife, Sonia, then 9 months pregnant, had just lost her job at the Boston Globe. I had just watched as half the staff at Boston Magazine, where I then worked, got laid off. I had survived, but I had to take a 20% pay cut. The media industry itself was in free fall. There was so much chatter about the long-form storytelling I love to do, and I had wanted to do all my life. So many people thought that this wouldn't work, not with the rise of broadband and video and mobile phones. So I was terrified. How would we pay the bills with just one income, and how could the one thing I loved, telling stories in magazines and newspapers and for news sites, be a viable future? I did not see a viable future. I saw no reason to continue to be a writer. So I interviewed at advertising shops and PR firms. One advertising firm was prepared to offer me 45% more money than what I was making. The ad agency said the job was mine if I wanted it. They would just need an answer. So this was on a Friday. The ad agency said they need that answer by Monday. So what would you do? How would you respond? I thought the responsible thing to do, the only thing really, was to take the job. I mean, my family needed money, and maybe even more than that, the promise of a future in a secure industry. Over that weekend, I was this close to leaving the one thing I had ever wanted to do, to write long-form stories for a living, when my wife and I, on a Sunday afternoon, went to a Barnes & Noble. We were just passing time, frankly, until Monday morning came and I called the ad agency to say I accept. So I was looking at titles at the bookstore, and I saw a stand near the front, a stand for bestsellers and staff favorites. I saw something else there too. I saw the Iliad by Homer. Now, this was a story that dated back to 725 BC, when stories were told in the oral tradition. And there it was 2,700 years later on a staff's favorite shelf at a Barnes & Noble in Boston, Massachusetts. So what conclusion would you draw about the Iliad being there? Well, for me, it was that the Iliad had endured. The medium had changed multiple times and millennia had passed, but the story endured. What I realized that day at that bookstore was that storytelling was eternal. I was suddenly so very curious. What was it that made the best stories eternal? So I decided to stay at my job at Boston Magazine, in part because I decided to do something even more consequential. I decided I had to learn everything I could about how to craft stories that endure. I had gone to college. I had majored in journalism. I had even geeked out on the writing of Gay Talese and Joan Didion and Richard Ben Cramer. And my nerding out on those writers, though, they'd kind of been all about how to craft the sort of sentences they did. After that Sunday at the Barnes & Noble, I realized I needed to understand stories much better than I had in college, even better than I had in the first 7 years of my career. I needed to understand what is the internal mechanism, the secrets that allow these great stories to endure. So all of this led to years of studying. It led to books and magazine pieces, me reading just a ton of those and annotating those works and writing notes to self and having conversations with friends and peers and writing heroes of mine. And all of that led as well to a couple of things. It led to better jobs. It led to freelance pieces in, again, the New Yorker and the Atlantic and blah, blah, blah. And it led to a staff writing and editing position at ESPN, the magazine. I was part of a team that won a National Magazine Award for General Excellence, the highest honor in the field. What I learned about why great stories endured was the reason my first book was optioned by DreamWorks and why the New York Times called that book chilling and powerful and said it added up to all-night reading. But really, what all that studying and questioning about why great stories endure, really what it led to is this: the internal transformation that was even greater than the wisdom I gained about stories. It was a confidence I developed to be able to execute on stories because I had learned their internal mechanisms and their secrets, and that's what I want to offer you, your own internal transformation. Now, a big common comment I get is, your career isn't mine, so any success you've had doesn't mean I'll have it. I would say that my success is my former students. I've already mentioned some of them, the success they've had in getting in dream publications like the New Republic, or landing book deals with HarperCollins for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there are more stories too. In my course on long-form storytelling and why great stories endure, we've had New York Times best-selling authors and Pulitzer-winning feature writers and emerging writers and storytellers who are frankly brand new to long-form. One of my former students, Brendan Burris, he said of the course after he completed it, "Paul blew away my expectations, resharpened my career focus I'd lost, and provided new tools to approach my craft day to day. I'd recommend this course to anyone tired of making excuses about their creative pursuits and serious about learning how to fit them in the context of their busy lives." In the years since he wrote that, Brendan has landed stories in ever bigger publications like Vice. The New York Times best-selling author who took the course, Sarah Hepola, she said she felt enriched and also inspired, and that our instruction gave her a nice jolt of confidence. She's since seen one of her essays nominated for a National Magazine Award. A writer brand new to long-form, Tim Brown, has sent me numerous emailed updates about all the stories he's now selling to publications. Here's sold another one, he said one day. "Thanks for your mentorship and encouragement." That material, all of it, it's part of a digital course I'm offering starting today, the Storytelling You. Now, because this iteration of the Storytelling You is an expansion of what we've offered before, the window for enrollment will only be open for a limited time. That's because I want to get this course rolling. I want to see it change your life. So the registration period for it is going to be short. Since you're watching this video, either you're someone who wants to find stability and success in the unstable world of long-form storytelling, or you want to move beyond stability and that first modicum of success and learn to thrive as a long-form storyteller forever. Either way, the Storytelling You will help you get better assignments, earn more money, and transform your career and your life. I'm teaching from experience here. The lessons I'll relay have transformed my life just as surely as they'll transform yours. So, first off, when you join the Storytelling You, you get over 60 lessons. I've broken these lessons into 8 modules where I walk you through every single step of the storytelling process, from how to find a great story, to how to pitch it to dream publications, to how to report that story, to how to structure it, to how to write it, to how to deal with the edits, and then how to do it again in a media environment where all long-form storytellers are asked to be ever more entrepreneurial. The Storytelling You is not just the result of my 2 decades of experience. No way. I also sprinkle in the lessons and the insights of the National Magazine Award winners with whom I've worked, the Pulitzer Prize winners, the best-selling authors. I've been lucky enough to edit and work with these people over the years, and I created the sort of course I wanted to take myself, the sort of course that I couldn't find anywhere. Not in college curriculum, not in other digital online offerings. Because again, it's not just my expertise I'm teaching here. I'm pulling the best snippets of expertise of others, some of them absolute giants in the world of storytelling. Now, once you've completed the storytelling you'll still have access to it, so you can return to the material at your leisure. And honestly, quite a few of the lessons you'll probably want to watch again, just because there's so much material that's so helpful, so practical to your ongoing career. If you struggle with starting that career, or don't have the time to advance your writing beyond what you're doing, you'll learn the mindset reframe in the Storytelling You that you need to get going, and how to fit your writing dreams and ambitions into your existing day. Now, if you struggle with writing great pitches that get approved in great publications, you'll learn how to pitch a dream publication based on the pitches my former students and I got approved in our dream publications. If you struggle with getting interview subjects to talk to you and to open up to you, you'll learn how to interview extroverts, introverts, alpha types, beta types. You'll learn how to ask the right sort of questions and when to ask them. If you struggle with structuring your stories and organizing your material, we've got a whole module that's just on how to structure stories. The theories and practicalities of stories and story structure. If you struggle to write sentences that sound rhythmic, that transcend the prosaic, we've got a whole module that's just on how to write a great story paragraph by paragraph and line by line. That module isn't a cookie cutter formula, but more of the best insights from some of the greatest writers. If you struggle to remain confident in the face of so much bad news about long form storytelling and the future of media, we've got a whole module on the future of storytelling and how you can thrive in a media environment that may seem scary as hell, but is actually brimming with possibilities once you understand story and reframe your mind. We teach you these mindset tricks about what's possible for your own future in life. The bottom line is we're going to cover so much ground in the Storytelling You. And at the end of your time, you're going to have a true understanding of all the secrets of story, why and how the best stories work, and you'll be able to take that knowledge and apply it to your work and your life and change that life. And because I want to move beyond what you'll learn and begin to apply this knowledge, I'm going to not only give you the 8 modules of the Storytelling You, but I'm going to pop in myself. Every 2 weeks, I'll be in an Ask Me Anything style session over Zoom to answer, any sort of question you have about the things we're discussing. These sessions will answer questions and I'll even be reviewing some of your progress, because there will be various prompts in the Storytelling You where you'll be asked to write something or carry out a mock interview, and we'll discuss and debate and critique all of this stuff too in our live Zoom sessions. In addition to these Ask Me Anything live Zoom sessions, this iteration of the Storytelling You right now will also feature live one-on-one work with every student. This one-on-one work will take place over Zoom or email, that's your preference, and answer your most pressing questions about the course as you proceed through it, and solve your most pressing problems about storytelling. Every student will have 3 sessions with me for signing up for the Storytelling You. So, by now, you're probably thinking, this is a pretty good offer, but I thought a lot about how I could make this offer even better. So I decided to throw in a bonus: how to write a book. The books I've authored or ghostwritten have brought me over $1 million in revenue over the last 5 years. And when I ultimately release the course on book writing to the public, because I haven't done it yet, but when I do release it to the public as a standalone course, I'm going to price it between $2,000 and maybe $3,000. You, meanwhile, for enrolling in this edition of the Storytelling You, you'll be getting this bonus on book writing, an entire module dedicated to every facet of book writing and how to do it, absolutely for free. So if you consider the one-on-one work I do with clients, which runs to $500 an hour, and if you consider that you'll have up to 15 hours of that level of attention from me in our Ask Me Anything sessions and the one-on-one calls, that means the value of those sessions alone is $7,500. And if you consider that you're getting another bonus as well within the Storytelling U, the bonus module on book writing, let's say we split the difference when we price that, and let's say it retails for $2,500 when I formally debut it. Now we're getting to a value for the Storytelling U of $10,000 in total. And then there's the qualitative insights from my career to consider. As someone who's written for the leading publications, who's had his work optioned now by Hollywood studios and made into films, who's been part of a group that's won a National Magazine Award, and the qualitative insights of the Pulitzer Prize winners, the MacArthur Genius Grant winners, the best-selling authors with whom I've worked and edited. There's a way to put a value on that. Universities and MFA programs, they do it all the time, every semester. Now, I'm not going to say my course is equal to value to a 4-year degree or an MFA program, but my former students will say that. One of them was a senior at the University of Texas named Joe Levin. Here's what Joe said after completing an earlier version of the Storytelling U. I'd 100% say that Paul's course was more applicable, helpful, and inspiring than every J-School class I've taken. A 4-year degree at the University of Texas retails for $58,000 right now. And that's for in-state students, according to the university's website. And Joe was actually an out-of-state student. Now, another guy who took the Storytelling U was J. Brian Charles. He's a magazine writer and editor, an investigative reporter who got his MFA a while back. Here's what Brian said when he finished the Storytelling U. Absolutely loved the course. It was wonderful. It's on par with anything I took during my MFA. On par with anything he took during his MFA. Now, an MFA in journalism from Columbia University will currently cost you $116,805, and that's if you complete it in 9.5 months. Most MFA programs take 2 years and cost nearly $200,000. That's according to Columbia's website. So Joe said my course had a greater value than anything he took at the University of Texas. Brian said my course was on par with his MFA program. Combine these statements and that easily places the value of the Storytelling U at $100,000. Plus, this iteration of the Storytelling U, with its one-on-one work and book writing bonus, is so much more robust than what I offered to Joe and Brian. So if you take the Ask Me Anything bonus, you'll get the one-on-one bonus, the book writing bonus you'll get, and just how much past students have valued and praised the course. The Storytelling U has an estimated value of $108,500. By now you're surely wondering, well, what's the cost of the Storytelling U? Your investment in the Storytelling U is literally a fraction of that. It is $1,497. And because I remember what it feels like to be a hungry storyteller whose ambition is sometimes larger than their bank account, we're going to do something we have never done before. We are going to offer payment plans right up front. You can pay for the course across 5 full months, which means you'll get the Storytelling U for less than a car payment on a Honda Accord. You'll get it for $299 a month for 5 months. Now, if you want to transform your storytelling, and more importantly, transform your life, and all without toiling for years in the trenches of poorly paying newsrooms or spending thousands of dollars on a mid-career residency or hundreds of thousands of dollars on grad school, then you need to take the Storytelling U. You need to quit thinking about your dreams and take action toward those dreams. So go ahead and click the button below and join me in the Storytelling U. One last thing I need to mention. This is a limited time offer. Enrollment for the Storytelling U will just be open for 5 days, and then we'll close down registration and start the class. I am keen to start this class and help more storytellers. So if you want to get in, you need to act quickly. Also, based on the value of the Storytelling U, the next time we offer this course, it will be at a higher price point, much more than it's currently $1,497. So that's another reason to act while you can. The price for the Storytelling U will be going up in the future. In fact, it's only gone up every time we've offered the course. If you're ready to change your understanding of storytelling and change your life, then your next step is to click the button below and get registered for the Storytelling U. Oh, and one more thing. We debated honestly whether we should do this, but we'll include in the course another bonus, the means to ask better questions of yourself too. This is an interview technique that certain entrepreneurs have used, and one that's, when it's taught, retails to Silicon Valley tech founders for $200,000 a day. This sort of self-questionnaire is incredibly helpful for writers as well. I've used it with my former students, and it's changed how they think. It's changed how they think about kind of everything. It's the most effective mindset reframe out there. So when you register now, you will get this bonus absolutely free, for free. After you register, you'll have a full 30 days to see if the storytelling you is right for you. If you find that it isn't, then just let us know and we'll refund your money. No hassles, no hard feelings. One last thing. I'm not some storytelling magician. I just stumbled upon some underlying truths about stories and why they worked almost 15 years ago. And so more than a decade of work and study and analysis and now testing has gone into the storytelling you, this iteration of it. The result is not a cookie cutter formula, but it's a broader method for understanding and executing stories. You will take my decades of knowledge and have it for yourself in a matter of days. Just days. And then what you learn can be applied over and over and over, just like it's been applied over and over and over by my former students. Now is your time. There has never been a better time, in fact, but you have to act now before enrollment closes. Enroll in the Storytelling You and say yes to understanding the secrets of story and unlocking your future as a long-form storyteller.